Hello again, fourth graders, and welcome to our fourth unit for our fourth grade writing time. The literary essay, the opinion, is what our whole unit 4 will all be about. As we jump into session 1, our theme today is called Close Reading to Generate Ideas About a Text. The last several days you would have been reading some different books preparing for our first writing session for Unit 4, and hopefully you've gotten a chance to read several books and gotten their ideas and themes accordingly. So hopefully that has been taking place and we are ready to start session 1. In this unit, our connection is that you will be writing about your reading. Before you can write a literary essay, you first need to climb inside a story. You need to let the details of the story sink in, paying attention to what you see and hear and notice on the page. Only then can you decide what you want to say about the story. Our goal today, fourth graders, is that I hope you'll learn that to write well about reading, you need to be wide-awake readers. Some people say they read themselves to sleep, but because you are writers, you need to read yourselves awake. To become especially wide-awake readers, you read closely, paying attention to little details that others might pass by, and then you write to grow ideas about those details. Using the book Fox, you as readers who want to grow ideas from reading a text find it helps to not just read, but to also sometimes reread a text. So let's reread Fox. I know you already heard me read this book aloud, and we've already talked about the plot and characters. I believe that would have happened in one of our earlier units. This time as we read, let's turn our minds on high, looking for moments or details that strike us as important to the whole text, and when we find them, we'll try to stop and discuss or talk. I'm going to read just a small portion of the book Fox today, written by Margaret Wilde and Ron Brooks. Fox. Through the charred forest, over hot ash, runs Dog, with a bird clamped in his big, gentle mouth. He takes her to his cave above the river, and there he tries to tend her burnt wing. But Magpie does not want his help. "I will never again be able to fly," she whispers. "I know," says Dog. He is silent for a moment, and then he says, "I am blind in one eye, but life is still good." "An eye is nothing," says Magpie. "How would you feel if you couldn't run?" Dog does not answer. Magpie drags her body into the shadow of the rocks until she feels herself melting into blackness. Days, perhaps a week later, she wakes with a rush of grief. Dog is waiting. He persuades her to go with him to the river bank. "Hop on my back," he says. "Look into the water and tell me what you see." Sighing, Magpie does as he asks. Reflected in the water are clouds and sky and trees and something else. "I see a strange new creature," she says. "That is us," says Dog. "Now hold on tight." With Magpie clinging to his back, he races through the scrub, past the stringy barks, past the clumps of yellow box trees, and into blueness. He runs so swiftly, it is almost as if he were flying. Magpie feels the wind streaming through her feathers, and she rejoices. "Fly, Dog, fly! I will be your missing eye, and you will be my wings." And so Dog runs with Magpie on his back every day, through summer, through winter. That's where we will stop our reading of Fox for this first session. As we think about that, you think about the moments or details. One animal is helping the other, and the second animal is helping the first, both because they have different injuries or something has happened to them. Those are important moments or details that we discover as we read. So today, you learned a strategy for reading yourselves awake. You learned that to get big ideas about a text and to grow your ideas, you must read closely and write in response to your reading. Today in workshop, you'll have a chance to read as well as write. Choose a text from your group. Now in this case the group bin, but you have your books if you're following this here at home, and begin doing this same work. If you are using Epic, choose one of those books, or if you have other books of your own. You can use your notebook or sticky notes along with the thinking prompts to help you grow your ideas about the text. Today for our share, we have two things on the agenda. The first is to take a look at a chart that may seem familiar to you, but is one that we can use in this unit as well. This is called Questions Writers Ask of Texts. They include such things as, what is the important thing about this entry? What does this teach me about me or about life? Why do I remember this one time, and how does it connect to who I am or to important issues? What other entries have I written that connect to this one? What does this make me realize? What do I want readers to know about this? And what surprises me about this? The second is to share some of your growing ideas about the text you read today, not so much with your group, but in written form. I'm going to back the slide up one page. And again, today, for your writing assignment here in our first session of Unit 4, I'm going to ask you to use one of your books that you've been reading over the last several days or week or so. Choose one of those, and I want you to jot down your ideas about what is important about this entry. What is important that stands out in this book? Just take a small portion of a book. It doesn't have to be, you're not doing a summary of the entire book, but just a small portion of it. If you were writing things down in your reading journal or a notebook or perhaps on sticky notes, you can certainly use those to help you with this writing. But jot down a couple of ideas as we just are beginning the first session of Unit 4. Get some ideas down, and we'll talk again and chat tomorrow for Session 2. Good luck. Get started.